Hello, my name is Matthew Cunha of Boca Studios. In this video tutorial, we'll be learning about horror lighting. Throughout the video, we'll be showing you clips from a single scene. First, the clip in its entirety, then the clip interspersed with behind-the-scenes shots to give you an idea, along with a voiceover, of how that scene was shot, and especially how it was lit. With that said, let's get started. Spooky, right? Well, now we're gonna break the scene down. We begin with the stairwell. Here we put up two lights. The first, an 150 watt Dedolight with the projector attachment. Inside the projector attachment, we put an M-sized steel gobo that replicates the look of a 4-panel window, thus giving the audience the idea that this is coming from somewhere natural, it's originating from within the scene. Our second light is the larger Dedoflex. We put its softbox on top of it so it's not barefaced, and we stick the egg crate on top of that to provide some directionality. In our second room, the living room, we put our third and fourth lights, which in this case are the Mole Richardson Tweenie, which we use much in the same way as the projector attachment to illuminate a back wall, and the other Dedoflex, which we use as a roving fill in this much larger space, and occasionally also as a key light later on in the scene. Our first shot is a wide, which eventually racks into a close-up as our actor gets closer and closer and closer. This is done to show that he's alone, that it's late at night, show the environment he's in, and to end the shot with his face illuminated. It's very important that the face of your protagonist or of your victim be well illuminated, and this is done because we want the audience to associate themselves with them. We want them to be able to see their faces, to be able to see their facial reactions, and to feel the worry and the panic with them. Color is extremely important, and you have more flexibility in a horror scene to use color creatively. Here it's a nighttime scene, so we chose something very blue, which we did by putting down the Kelvin in the camera to a very, very warm state and using normal tungsten lights. But you can make things very red, that's a classic look, or even very green to make people look sickly. Anything that's extreme enough will look unnatural and will add to the sense of horror that you want to achieve in your scene. As the actor turns, fill light ensures that he doesn't descend into total darkness. Yes, he is underexposed, but it's not a big deal that he is. During the nighttime, creating a sense of contrast and darkness is very, very important. As our angle changes and our actor passes through the doorway, our other spotlight backlights him from an angle that the camera can't see. Meanwhile, our Dedoflex serves as a fill light for the background and especially for the bust. This is important not only aesthetically, as it allows us to see more, but also thematically, as it foreshadows the idea that our main character is being watched. This demonstrates the importance of ambient lighting. We want things to be dark enough and unexposed enough not to be familiar to the audience, while still being seen. For that reason, a thin fill light is very effective in a nighttime scene, and is especially good to build tension while ensuring that your main characters are not lost in a sea of darkness. The Dedoflex in the stairwell serves a purpose yet again, this time rim lighting the monster as she appears out of the doorway. One important thing to note here is that we want to light our monsters differently from how we light our protagonists. Our human protagonists should be well lit, they should be visible, with the lights, especially the key lights, placed in more traditional positions. The monster, meanwhile, needs to be side lit, backlit, dark, mysterious, underexposed, less well seen. This ensures that the monster stays unknowable, unknown until either a dramatic jump scare or a big reveal, and it ensures that our protagonist is relatable and understood by our audience. Next, we turn to the floor as a shadowy hand reaches out to attempt to grab our victim's feet. This sort of shadow play is something you'll see time and time and time again in horror movies. It doesn't give away the monster, and it creates a sense of foreboding and menace. So, how do you accomplish this sort of thing? Very, very easy. You put a hand or a person or whatever you want, an object in front of a light. But there are two big ways to make a clean shadow. The first, you need a single hard point source of light. A soft light or a multi-light array like you might find in LED is not going to work very well. The second important aspect to this is you have to have an object which is far away enough to create a clean source of light. The further you are, the cleaner it is, while close enough to make that shadow large, because the closer you are to the point of light, the larger the shadow is. So play with that balance. Depending on what you're trying to do, you might end up more in one direction than another. The camera is once again on the male actor as he turns around and faces the vampire. He screams out, and you'll notice that the lighting is largely the same here, with a Dedoflex used as a soft ambient fill for both himself and the background. The flashlight that our actor was holding, however, becomes more than a prop. It becomes a beautiful excuse for underlighting. Anytime you want to create a sense of the unnatural, consider placing your lights very high or very low below or above your actresses. This creates ghoulish shadows on their faces that you would never find in real life and is thus alien and unnatural, perfect for a horror monster. As we reach the end of today's video, let's recap the 4 things we learned. First, how to light our antagonist versus how we choose to light our protagonist. 2, how to use ambient light to your advantage to better portray your background. 3, how to use color to your advantage when lighting a horror scene. And 4, how to position your lights to create a sense of the unnatural when you want to spook your audience. For Boca Studios, my name is Matthew Cunha. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, don't be afraid of the dark.